Hey, what's up guys? This is MJ100K. Today I'm going to talk about 5 jobs that auto mechanics can get that are, in my opinion, better than working at a dealership. So I've worked at a lot of different places, including dealerships. The jobs I'm going to give you are better in my opinion because they don't pay flat rate. They're just going to pay you by the hour. Also, these jobs are going to have way better benefits. So let me take you back to the beginning of my automotive career. I was at Community College of Philadelphia, and they had a career fair before I was about to graduate. And some of these very companies came to that career fair, and I turned up my nose at them. I was like, ew, I don't want to work on those type of vehicles. I want to work on cars. I want to work on my favorite cars at the dealership. I thought it was going to be all fun and games, but guess what? It got to be terrible at one point. Because when the work dries up, so do your checks when you're being paid flat rate. And it becomes a nightmare dealing with the other technicians and the service writers. Everybody's fighting over work. Everybody's at each other's throat. And it becomes a freaking nightmare. But I'm not saying you should never work at a dealership. The reason for this video is somebody in the comments, they're getting out of the military, and they were asking me should they go to Lincoln Tech because they want to, or UTI because they want to work at a dealership. I said, well, number one, don't go there because it's a waste of time. And number two, you can get a job at the dealership by your freaking self without even going to school. If you check out my video, how to become a mechanic without going to school, I will give you all the details on that. So I was telling them, if you really want to work at a dealership, work there for a year and a half at the most. Use that time to get all your certs, learn everything you can while you are there, and use that as a springboard to get you to a better job where you're getting paid consistently, you're getting great benefits, or you're not getting rushed to finish as much work as possible. So I found 5 jobs online, and when I show you the ads that they have for these jobs, don't be intimidated by some of the skills that you may not have. So this is what I think you should do. In my opinion, you have to reverse engineer these jobs, meaning that figure out where you want to work first. Look at the application and see what kind of skills are they looking for. So when you're doing that year and a half at the dealership or at a Pep Boys type place, you can know the skills that you need to acquire to get your next step job. So you'll be getting ready for your next job while you're at the dealership or Pep Boys. So if you see any skills on here that you don't have, go ahead and try to acquire them. You'll be all right. And when you're looking at these jobs, just be patient. It takes a while to get into some of these type of places because the people that work there, they are there for life. They know they've got it good, and they are not leaving until they retire for the most part. So these jobs aren't always available, but just find the places you want to work. Look on their career section of their website maybe once a month or so, and when you see that job you want come up, you'll be ready to go ahead and apply for it. When I was getting out of tech school, I applied to like 12 different auto mechanic jobs. I got a couple interviews, and I got an offer at Honda. And then when I got out of school as an engineer, I applied to over 50 places. I had like 7 interviews and 3 offers. So don't feel bad when you are applying to a lot of places and you don't hear back. Sometimes you have to follow up on them and be like, hey, did you get my application? How's everything going? What's the status of my application? And doing that actually is how I got my first mechanic job. So stay after them. So without further ado, here is number 1, in my opinion, a better job than working at the dealership. And it is working at the post office, working on their fleet, on their vehicles, their mail trucks. It looks like a lot of them are Dodge ProMasters now. So, you'll get used to working there. The pros are they have great benefits. I mean, this is basically a government job. They're going to give 401ks. They're probably got a 401k match, which you need to get on. And, great health insurance, all those type of things. It's a fleet, so you're going to get good at working on those same cars all the time. You'll probably be an expert in no time. The cons are, well, you may get bored at working on the same vehicles all the time. But one solution is buy yourself a couple project cars. You'll be able to get 2 or 3 different project cars, and you work on those cars at home. Once you get a house with a garage, you could put a little mini lift in there, and you could get to work on all your favorite cars at home when nobody's bugging you to hurry up. So job number 2 is working at a bus company. Now this company, SEPTA, came to the career fair when I was in Philly, and let me tell you, I was like, oh, I don't want to work on no bus. That's going to suck. I don't like that. But you know what? That company has one of the strongest unions you have ever seen. And one of my friends actually got a job there. Well, actually, he worked at Kia for about a year. Like I was saying, you work at the dealership for a little while, and then he got the job at SEPTA, and he's probably still there now. Oh my gosh, their pay is so crazy because they will shut down the city and when they strike because when there's no buses, nobody gets anywhere. So they get what they want. The cons for working there, I've heard that they do start you off on like the night shift. So, you have to work night shift for a little while until a day shift opens up. And they do not like you being late, which is probably not good for me because I'm always late. But, but yeah, be on time. Don't be late. And you'll have to get through the night shift for a little while. But day shift will open up eventually. My friend who worked there, I remember he had a brand new Scion FRS, and then he got tired of that, and then he got a Subaru WRX STI edition or whatever. And yeah, they pay pretty good. So don't turn up your nose at working at those bus companies because these buses cost a lot of money, like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like just the engine might be 10 or 20 grand. They don't want just any Joe Schmo working on their very expensive buses, so they gotta pay. And that's where you could be there, getting lots of money. Oh, and one other good thing about that job, it's a union job, right? So like, let's say they say do brakes on this bus, right? And they have time. They say, this is supposed to take you 3 hours. If you do that job, let's say you could get it done in an hour. The other technicians are like, look, you need to slow down and do it in 3 hours, or they're gonna recalculate all the hours. So yeah, you are taking your time. I mean, it's hard work sometimes, but at least nobody's rushing you at the dealership. And when you get overtime, oh man, you are getting paid. So number 3, the local city government jobs. This is kind of the same type of thing. The pros are the really great benefits. You're working on a lot of city vehicles, so things like that. Maybe you might be working on cop cars or different type of equipment that they use around the city. Again, it's probably most likely going to be a union job, so they're not going to be rushing you to hurry up and get a million hours in. You'll be working, but you'll be working at a good pace. And you won't be stressed out on, if your check's going to be up or down based on if you got assigned the best jobs at a dealership, You'll just be working like a normal person, and you'll get paid a really good check every week. And when it's overtime, you'll be swimming in gravy, baby. The cons for this job, I heard that sometimes you have to work on dump trucks, and they stink. But, there are masks that you can buy, like I have one actually, that filter out odors, and they're not huge, so they're pretty comfortable. You could get one of those and you'll be fine. Trust me, for any of these jobs, this one probably is going to have a 401k match. Here is a cheat code if you want to get almost rich. All right, well, you might get to $1 million, but after enough time, you'll definitely get to 600,000 or 700,000. This is what you want to do. When you sign up at these jobs, they sign you up for benefits. They're going to ask you, how much do you want contributed to your 401k? And whatever the max is, just pick that. And what'll happen is over the years, you'll get compound interest. With the goal of any investing is you want it to double every 7, 8.5 years or so. So what'll happen is maybe over the first 10 or 12 years, you do the maximum contribution along with the match, which is just free money that the company matches. Like if you put in 200, they put in 200 too. So now you put in 400, but oh my gosh, that's crazy. Anyway, they will match what you put in. And like I said, every 7 or 8 years, it doubles. So if you're able to work 20, 25, maybe even 28 years, you get like 4 doubles in there, right? And the last double is the biggest. So with these jobs, take care of your body, work at a good pace. And if you can get to 60, 62 years, like let's say if you start around 25, all that money is going to be in your retirement account. And I'm talking, it could be over, it could be 600,000, 700,000. It might be $1 million, who knows? But yeah, maximum contribution and if they have different plans, get the most aggressive investment strategy. You will thank me when you're 60 years old and you are retired and you are living in a little mini mansion in the suburbs somewhere. So that's the cheat code for today. So the fourth job, and I could do a whole video on this type of job, but this is the job that I got out of school. It is called mechanical engineering technician. Now for this job, you're usually going to need a 2-year associate's degree, but sometimes they will take you with a certificate and enough experience. For jobs like this, the job I had was at Cummins, but they also have jobs like this at every OEM that has a testing center in this country. So Cummins, Toyota, Ford, GM, Tesla, the Google car, the Department of Defense, with their little top secret robots that they make, or whatever vehicles they make. I did see a job for that once. So they were paying like $80,000-$90,000 a year to start. The EPA, of course, they have test cells where you test the engines, and at every OEM has that. So jobs like that are sweet, but you have to do the work in the front end in order to get qualified for jobs like this. So like I said, you're going to need probably a 2-year degree. And in my next video, I'm going to show you some of the schools that they actually recruit at, and that will get you an in-person interview. But anyway, that's for the next video. Like I said, jobs like that are awesome. What you're going to be doing is working with engineers. It's basically a Batman and Robin type situation where the Batman comes in and said, oh, we have this prototype to test. And the Robin he puts the engine on the test stand, he sets up all the sensors, and he monitors the test, or he or she. And then you get all the information that gets put into the computer, and then you just download it, maybe put it into an Excel file, which is easy. It's not hard. And then you email it to the engineer, and then you talk about it. Okay, so you're either putting stuff on test stands, engines on test stands, or actual dynamometers, or you might be working with actual vehicles. When I was at Toyota, when I was an engineer, we had technicians there that would work on the vehicles when we were testing them. And yeah, that's what you'll be doing. Or sometimes they do parts. You might have a test stand where you test parts. That's what I did at Cummins. So I was testing fuel parts. So yeah, this is the job. The money is great. You usually also get yearly bonuses, and actually the work is usually easier than working on buses or city vehicles. I could tell you more about this type of job in detail in another video. If somebody wants it in the comments, put a comment that you want to hear more about it. But anyway, those are the pros. The cons are, well, this may be a pro or con. Sometimes with these type of jobs, you do have to travel to do testing. And sometimes it might be a cold place like Alaska. I had to go to Minnesota a couple times with Toyota for cold weather testing, and it was cold. Like so cold your iPhone shuts itself off and says, I am done here. But anyway, if you can get over that, it's not too bad, You're not outside the whole time. But yeah, and the technicians get big checks then because they get more hours from overtime. When I was an engineer, we were getting salary, so not really getting paid anymore usually. So yeah, and the other con is these test centers may require you to move to a different state because they're not going to move the test center to you. The place where I was at was a Toyota in Ann Arbor, Michigan, which is a super fancy pants little city. And GM, Ford, and Chrysler are all over Michigan. Actually, I saw a Hyundai test center up there. They got Roush up there. No, Honda has one in Torrance, California. Tesla had one in California. I think they moved to Texas. I know Toyota has another one in Plato, Texas. And Toyota has one in Arizona, too. Nissan, I think they had one in Arizona. Cummins is in Indiana. Polaris, if you ever want to get into snowmobiles, which one of my friends from Cummins actually took a job up there. Polaris is in Minnesota. Mechanical engineering technician is a job that you can get as a mechanic, but you might need a few more skills. Reverse engineer that application and get ready. And when the job comes up, you need to be on it. Okay, so the last and final job I want to talk about is called a robotics technician. Now, This isn't directly related to automotive, but it's pretty similar. So just hear me out here. Robotics technician is basically the guy that fixes all the robots, and it's kind of cool because any time you see a factory, and there are factories in any city and any state, there are going to be robots in there. And in the future, in my opinion, robots are going to be everywhere. I think that places like McDonald's and Wendy's, they're going to replace a lot of these people who are, like they might be making the food. I think a lot of these people are going to be replaced with robots. So these companies are going to be totally dependent on their robots in order to make money. So they're going to need people that are able to fix and maintain these robots. Now, in the factories, the robots are already there, and they need technicians to work on them. So if you're interested, my next video, I'm going to be talking about a couple schools that offer this program for robotics technician. It's a 2-year degree. These places also have certificates to where you can just take the classes you need for the robots. Might only take you 3 semesters. And here's a cheat code. Look at your local community colleges and even community colleges around the country. Some of them are given free tuition right now, and I joke you not. Some community colleges are having free tuition for jobs where there are shortages, and I'm going to try to find some of them on the internet, but this is what I heard. And I mean, the tuition's cheap already, especially if you get financial aid for even the whole 2-year degree. So if you're thinking about going to Lincoln Tech for 30 grand or UTI for 50 grand, you need to get your head examined. Do not go there. Community colleges are the best deal in town, especially when they're freaking free. Oh my gosh. I'm about to go back for free. Free is my favorite word. So anyway, look into robotics technician if fixing robots sounds interesting to you. I know that job is basically future proof and it's export proof. So as long as there are robots in the US, they are going to need people to fix them. A lot of people I see online are complaining that, oh, robots are going to take people's jobs. Oh, this is not fair. We need to have universal basic welfare for everybody so we don't have to work because the robots are going to do all the work. No, listen, any free money that you're going to get is going to be a pittance. Okay, you're going to be still poor, complaining about how your check needs to be bigger. The people that are going to be able to survive and thrive are the people with the skills to fix these robots. And that's you and me. That's the mechanics out there. We could learn, if you could learn how to fix a car and a new car comes out and they tell you about it and then you learn all the new systems and now you can fix it. That's the same thing with these robots. You could learn how to fix them. I mean, it's not going to be that different. I guarantee you. All right, so those are the 5 recommendations I have for jobs that are way, way, way better than working at a dealership. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. And in the next video, I'm going to be talking about some of the schools that you could go to, the community colleges that you can go to that will get you these jobs. There you go. I hope you enjoyed this video and have a good one.